Right, what I want to do in this video is show you how you use AI, namely ChatGPT, to build out a high converting webinar landing page. We can't just go and straightforward and build out a webinar landing page. So what we're going to do first of all is we've got to prepare AI to be able to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to create what is called a knowledge base, and this is what it will do is it will then understand your company and your product. Okay, so it can then we will then be able to generate ideal client profiles, and we will then obviously move on to the webinar. So what I've done is there are a number of files you need to do this. You can get them down below, because what we need to do is we need these files. Okay, and these are basically going to make your there's about 4 of them. There's brand positioning, so just go in there. I've created a company called Acme Protein, and this is basically a protein company, and just go in here and fill out the details for your company. Okay, so then you get these, so like just replace all of these, so it knows product, because what we do first of all is we go into ChatGPT and we upload them. So we hit that plus button there, and on the plus button it's got add photos and files, and we add the 4 files that I've just created. You then put the prompt in, the first prompt, and this is going to lock the data, the knowledge base. What this basically means is that ChatGPT will only generate results from these files, right? It will derive the results from these files, so it won't hallucinate. It won't make any lies up about your brand. It will keep everything in tone with your brand. It will, it knows everything about your brand. Okay, and it is going to do this thing called locked, so we can see knowledge base locked for sales execution. So what does this mean? It basically means it's locked in on those. It's not going to divert in any way and source from other sources. Okay, so what we then do is we put the second prompt in. Using the locked knowledge base, create a high value ideal customer profile, and it will now create these. If you look at the whole prompt, we've got rules in there, etc., and it won't deviate. So we now have the ideal client profile, and it's all been derived from the knowledge base. We now need to create a high converting webinar landing page using the ideal client profile. So the landing page must include, and we're going to write what it's got to include. And this is a format that I use for advertising. Do you want this result in this time without this objection? So you can use this to sell anything. So for example, say we were selling in here protein. Do you want 40 grams of high protein in one shot without sugar? Because that's the objection. Objections are always sales points, right? So don't look at an objection and sit there and say, well, objections are that's going to stop me from selling. No, what you do is you design your product and design the service to overcome the objection. Then you can beat your competition. Okay, objections are something that you need to build into your product development timeline. And then bang, we now have the text for the webinar landing page. So, but we don't want, do you want this result in this time without this objection? So it put that in there. Basically, that's at the top. We've just used this text, and we then have that next. We then have the webinar promise, what you'll learn, etc. And that is how you set up a knowledge base, build ideal client profile, and then build a webinar landing page using ChatGPT. As I said, if you want the files I've used in here, they are directly below in the description. Thanks very much.